Ever since Donkey Kong came out in 1981, there have been numerous additions to the platforming genre. Since there are so many games out there of this type, it can be difficult to carve a spot for yourself in the sea of options. Psychoflow Studios and Mureena seek to do just that with a unique combination of 2D platformer and physics-based puzzler in Bionic Bay. As you are dropped into the middle of a mechanical sci-fi wasteland, you will very quickly find that this place is as inhospitable as it is expansive, and it will require you to be on your toes both mentally and physically. While there are no enemies per se, the environment is just as deadly as any monster could hope to be. Luckily, we are not left with our best weapons, our own wits and agility, and maybe a bit of alien tech thrown in here and there. The first and arguably most important mechanic you will learn is the jump and dash. This 1-2 combo of movement will be your bread and butter throughout the game. While I would not put this on the level of precision platformers like Celeste, there is no denying the controls feel tight and reactive enough that you can pull off almost any maneuver. Along with your physical abilities, you will also find multiple items that give you physics breaking abilities. The first and foremost tool you'll find is the swap tool. This allows you to shift places with a litany of objects littered throughout the levels. Almost any movable object can be swapped with, allowing you to save yourself or reach previously inaccessible areas. Just because the game is in 2D, don't think that means you can treat the levels as simplistic. With the addition of freezing rays, lasers that can bounce or burn you, and even some Cave Johnson approved orange and blue goo, the world gives you just as many tools as your own abilities. And when all these come together and start to click, you truly start to feel what makes this game really feel special. One thing I found that was done extremely well here is the balance of difficulty. It toes the line very well between frenetic high-speed precision platformer and methodical physics puzzler, with the game pacing itself between the two forms well. You don't feel like you have to be on edge or in a rush constantly, but also don't spend too long in a single spot trying to rack your brain on a single solution. Most times the only way to learn is by just going forward, oftentimes blind, and that means dying a lot. Thankfully, the devs made a fairly forgiving checkpoint system. There is a checkpoint built in before most challenges, and I only found myself having to redo a few sections. That was usually due to it being chained in a way that stopping in the middle could break the level. I never once was put so far back as to be off-put from playing, and while the gameplay is great, let's talk about the world that you are surviving in. Albert Einstein once said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious." By that metric, we can call this world absolutely mesmerizing. The world is a masterwork of mechanical function. While desolate and derelict now, you can see how things in the environment would have worked together in times gone by. Even though things are broken and placement seems sporadic at times, environments still feel cohesive. There are a few downsides to these richly made environments, however. First is that it can sometimes be difficult to figure out which way to go, especially later with a certain ability. With no camera control, you are often running blind and may think that the right way to go is down, when a small movement of the camera would have shown that right was the correct path. Second is that while there is a decent amount of separation between foreground and background elements, the player interactable elements can sometimes be hard to discern. I found myself on more than a few occasions reaching for a ledge or rope that I thought was just where I needed to go, but was in fact just decor. Thankfully, this does not happen often enough to be a major issue, but enough to be warned about. All of these rich environments are wrapped in a perfect pairing of a sci-fi soundtrack that feels straight out of synth heaven. Now, the world is very well built, but as far as the story goes, there is one. Okay, mostly that is a joke, but to be honest, other than the lore dumps you usually get when unlocking a new piece of tech, there's not much to the surface level story. There may be more if you look deep into the environment and such, but there are no collectibles or journal entries to widen the overall story. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. Honestly, I feel like this game only needs a loose amount of story to hold it together. Leaving enough of it open to interpretation allows you to fill in the blanks yourself if you think that's something it needs, and doesn't bog the game down at all if you think you don't need it. Overall, I honestly think where this game is going to shine is speedrunning. As the levels are physics-based, there is an interesting interaction available that could be fun to watch people bend and break the game to the best of their abilities. There is a mode with online leaderboards with a rotating list of levels that are available for various time periods that are completely different from those in the base game. This adds an infinite amount of replayability and value for people who enjoy competing for the best times and seeing how far they can push the system. I truly had a great time with this game. With its great mobility, tight controls, a great physics system, the platforming always felt fluid, difficult sections were tempered very well by a forgiving checkpoint system, and the game never felt like a chore to get through, and it kept me interested the entire time. The shifting environments never felt stale, and the music kept you feeling like you were really on an alien planet the entire way. With a few small hurdles that were in lore and mix-ups, interactable elements, this truly felt like a title that no fan of puzzles or platformers should miss. I give Bionic Bay a 9 out of 10. For Hardwired, I've been Alex Richardson. Thanks for watching.